Hello everyone, myself is Varshini J. So we are going to present a project called Continuous Integration Pipeline using Jenkins and Microsoft Azure. So guided by Giri sir. Continuous integration in general, integration means here we are combining the tools that are required to develop our project. So which in a continuous manner which results in a pipeline. So these continuous integration will help the developer to check the code automatically in several times. So when automated build pipelines are triggered, for example here only you can see in the diagram. So we have used the tools for testing and building. For testing we are used tool called as Jenkins, and then next these which helps the code to get the results very easily. If the result is true or success, then it will further continue the process. So if it is a failure, then it will directly throw to the developer that saying that it is a failure. So this is what the continuous integration. And the next is our problem statement. So our problem is we are facing here the major problem like what is slow page loading, where it takes much time to process. So there itself it takes much of time. So the next, if we come to the what performance issues like responsiveness, stability, and source software. The next, if we come to the testing system, we say that a major problem we are facing here is the security issue. So where it prone to cyber attacks. That means it will easily can any sensitive information can easily stolen by the attacker. So this is a major problem we are facing in this. The next come to objectives. So our objective is development. So where the developer plays a very important role in developing, testing, so finally deploying the code. So these all this process will take place automatically with a tool called as Jenkins. So later we will explain that concept of Jenkins. The next come to approaches. So these are the tools we are combining or integrating together in order to achieve our objective. In that, first we consider the cloud computing domain. So cloud computing is nothing but process of storing, accessing the data via internet. So in that we have chosen one cloud service provider called as Microsoft Azure. So we have so many service providers like AWS, IBM Cloud, Google, and so are there. Why we choose particularly Azure is nothing but so Azure provides the features of not hybrid cloud, so which is better for the organization if it is using both private and the public cloud. So one of the main things we are faced in our project is that what security issue. So since Microsoft Azure provides highly secure, we use this. So, and it is moreover becoming one of the top cloud service providers in next future, and most of the companies are using this Microsoft Azure. The next, if we come to Jenkins, so Jenkins is the most powerful tool that is open source CI tool, so which makes automation very easier. So pulling the entire code, doing all the things manually, it takes much of time, right? So in order to reduce that, all this process will take place automatically with the help of these Jenkins. So then next we have functionality and features wise. So Jenkins is a better when compared to other CI tools. And similarly, we have other CI tools like what GitLab and this Circle CI, etc. The next, if we come to GitHub, so where we use a GitHub to create a repository to build our continuous integration workflow. So what the major thing we do here is it will helps us to modify our code according to our needs. So this is how we use the GitHub. So here you can commit every time according to your requirements. The next come to scope of our project. So our project called as continuous integration pipeline. So it is more reliable, and deployment has faster deployment process. That means delivery process. So where we use a called famous tool called as Jenkins, which makes all the process very easily. So building, testing, and deployment. So once the code is correct or successful, then it will give you the message as successful directly to the developer. And once it is failure, and it will throw you message as a failure. So that you can in Jenkins you can do so much of things like scheduling, building the code, so every time that you commit. So this is our scope of a project. Then next come to domain specific. So particularly we have chosen a domain called as cloud computing. So this is a process where we storing, processing and accessing the data via internet. So consider if you have some resources, and you need to place those resources somewhere else in the cloud. So what does the cloud provides means, it provides you the freedom to place those application or the resources. But remember one thing, it must have the data centers. So using that, you can access the things whatever you want through the internet connection. So this is what the cloud computing. Then we have, based on the access, we have types of cloud computing like public, private, and hybrid cloud. So as the name indicates public, it means it gives you an access to everyone. For example, take a Google. Google provides a access of information to everyone. So as the name indicates public, it is less secure. So next come to private cloud. Private cloud means it provides access to only particular organization. So only those peoples who are present in those organization can access the information. It will not give access to any other. This is what the private cloud. As the name indicates, it is more secure. Private means more secure. The next one is hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is nothing but both the combination of this public and the private cloud. So one of the major reason why we use Microsoft Azure is because of these feature. So where we store the sensitive information in the private cloud, and we can access those information using the public cloud. So this is a major feature of this hybrid. The next come to cloud computing services. So cloud computing services, we have three types like software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So in software as a service, so majorly you're using the service, that's it. So majority of the work has to be taken by the vendor. So like for example, you're using Gmail in daily life. So what you think just of sending the mail to the person. So you're not worrying about that security and network. So database what it has stored. So all these backward things will be taken care by the vendor. This is what the software as a service. Next one is platform as a service. So platform as a service means it provides you the platform. For example, if you want to develop any applications like your wish, if you want to develop application, you need operating system. So what you need that you will taken care by yourself. But what the storing, security, and the networking, all this will be taken care by the vendors. The next one is infrastructure as a service. So infrastructure as a service means a majority of the work is to be done by yourself. Only the what the networking and the storage say features will be taken care by the vendors. So this is what the infrastructure as a service. Then next come to platforms. So cloud offers many platforms like AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Red Hat, Oracle, IBM Cloud. So many platforms are there like Google Cloud, IBM Cloud, and Red Hat. So next one is problem specific. As I mentioned before in the what the problem statement, so we are lagging behind of this those problems like server response, office speed, and slow page loading. So in order to overcome this, we are go through the concept of this continuous integration. So what does this continuous integration does means, So in order to increase this performance, they are using one what software tools like continuous integration tools like Jenkins, so which takes place all the process automatically. So that's why automatically these performance issues will also be solved and performance also increases. The next come to security issue. As I mentioned before that it prone to cyber attacks. So where the sensitive information will be easily taken care by the attackers. So through this continuous integration, what the developer does means the developer started to log that particular part of data. So where no one can hack that data. The next come to complex debugging. So, in using this continuous integration, you can ensure that all the process will be taken care visualization takes place through visualization. So you can see what the process will be, and installation also will be done by visualization itself. So report in some instance you may get the complex reports. So here in continuous integration, it is not possible like that. You will get the report by visualization, so you can see what actually the process has done through. So this is our complex debugging. So the next come to existing system. So before continuous integration, what we have done means that these developers will have to take place all this process manually, where they have to build the code, they have to test the code, and then they have to deploy. So all this is taken care by developers itself. So it is takes a lot of time to do all those things. So if we come to storage, the security purpose is not that much of secure. So that is the major problem we are lagging behind this existing system. Like drawbacks, time consuming. As the process takes place manually, yes, it is time consuming. Then if it come to monitoring, so monitoring is not that much of easy. All the process has to be taken care by the developers. So maintaining infrastructure and performance is also less. As I mentioned before, we are lagging behind of what server issues and what is slow page loading. All those things leads to performance down. Then next come to security. As I mentioned before that it prone to cyber attacks. So where the easily the attackers can stolen the data. So by using this continuous integration, how we can overcome those drawbacks and all those things will be explained further. Yes, Yatish, continue.
Yetish mic. Yetish mic.
Yatish, unmute.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself is Etish Koda Cage, proposal system, where our CI helps to notice and quickly error corrections so the consumer is a less time and they provides more confident and release our software because all process will takes place fastly and automatically. And the process is increasingly frequently and in delivery. Advantages of the closed system compared to existing system. Less time consumption. For the less time consumption over to the existing system, cost is effective for the compare the existing system. Maintenance is low and fast performance. Securities will be high because of existing system is security is low and proposal system is a high. Next topic is methodology. 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 We discuss about step number trigger and step two code checkout and step three complex com- compile the code and next step is run unit test and fifth step is package of the code and sixth step is run acceptance and test and seventh step is delivery or development. Trigger, what do you mean by trigger? Trigger is a pipeline or trigger automatically when new code and committed every time by the developer. The main reason is doing this, the making the running pipeline automatically. And next up is a code checkout, where CI service will checking the code from the source code repeatedly from commit and then start further process. And next topic is a compile the code. If you are developing the code, compile with language like Java, you have Java and C, then you needed. Next is the compile code, and next is run unit run unit test. We explain. Running time is when compile the code and running it, then in package of the code is a package of the code and giving to the run acceptance test. When you complete the code and package that called as a package of code, and then it's going to the run acceptance test. Run accept when is a when a code is a run, it is successfully completed. When this code is a fails, is a run acceptance is does not accept, and then a code is successfully delivery or development. Next topic is methodology. Next top- next topic, methodology. Developer is build a code in pushing to the GitHub account, commit the code, and then is go to build trigger automatically in Jenkins CI server, and then it is a fail in Jenkins server is go build a fail notification to developer.
First, first go to the Azure, create the virtual machine as a free trial, and next Azure create Ubuntu, create a new name Ubuntu. Already we given the name Ubuntu 5, and next religion Canada Central Availability Zone 1, and the next image Ubuntu Server 20.04 LTS Generation 2, and the virtual machine architecture is x64, and public key SSH public key password, and select as password, and next username Ubuntu 5 and password. Next confirm your password, and selected IBON parts are HTTP 80 HTTPS 443 SSH 2022. The next go to disk. OS disk size default size 13 MB as well as the given. And the next, your subscription is protected by Microsoft defined for cloud basic plan. Okay. Next, monitoring advanced, you can change anything over here. Management is a, and it's auto shutdown. We can set time to auto shut down the account, Azure account, and the time zone of coordinated universal time, as well as they have so much time. Next, go to tags and review plus create. Here we can review and then create the virtual machine. And here deployment is in progress. Which should wait a minute for this process. And here we have the resources, what we done. We should make some. Yeah, yes, your deployment is completed, and deployment is completed. Next, we go to the virtual machine Azure services, and here we created Ubuntu of a virtual machine. There is here you can click there, and the next to start this, you can click the start button. It's running. Yeah, we use putty for this connection and give the IP address. Already we know that that IP address you should give here. And the next it's come, it will run directly Ubuntu 5. And next password as a password has been given as, and next we'll give Java V for the version. We did install any Java version, so that's why we give Java V. Wait, check process. And here some of the Java version, and we can install that first one, open JDK 11 JRE headless. We want to install that version. And then install, and then here we can see AGDK 11 Java version. It's reading database. Users. Mm, mm. Here you type Java version. Yeah, this is our Java version. Yeah, installing Jenkins. Mm, by using them, yeah, you can install the Jenkins. We have to update, and the next to the option update here. It's updated, and then we sudo install Jenkins. Next we install Jenkins as sudo apt install Jenkins. Done. It took a couple of times to install. An external resource. sudo system as a T1 status. So we start the Jenkins server service sudo system start status Jenkins which is active. Here then we type sudo allow portal. Rules are updated for 8080 port, and you can check it now by sudo ufw allow open ssh. Rules are updated here. Next, check it sudo ufw enable or enable. Command may dispute existing research connections. Proceed with operation. Why? Firewall is active and enable on system startup. And we check here sudo ufw status. Here you can see action allow from anywhere. Open SSH allow anywhere. 8080 portal allow anywhere. Open SSH allow anywhere. And next will continue by Suhas. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Subhas HB. As Sujan said, we have created an Ubuntu virtual machine. Then we will here it is stopped. Here we can get to see that the status of the virtual machine. Here it is stopped. So we will start the virtual machine. Then we will get the notified as executed start command. So once we can refresh and check that, yes, it's starting. Wait for a minute. Yes, it's running. So now we have to go for putty. Then we have to type the IP address of the virtual machine. Then we have to open by using the login details as username and password. You have to log into the virtual machine. After installing the Java as well as Jenkins, we have to enable the ports and we have to start the Jenkins server. So first we will enable. I have disabled the Jenkins. Now we will check the status. It is inactive. Then we have to start the Jenkins. Yes, it has been started. So now you have to verify that it is started or not by checking the status of the Jenkins. See, it is active. So this is the dashboard of the Jenkins. Wait, I will show from the login. Type your Jenkins username as well as password. Okay. Then after doing this one, click for new item, enter a name. That is anything you can do, like simple or anything. Select a freestyle project where you can Jenkins build your project combining SCM or any build system. Then you have to select the GitHub project. For selecting the GitHub project, you have to have the one demo file or a file in the project in GitHub. See, we have already done here the simple named as a project repository. We have here simple repository. I am going to it. Then after that, you have to take here the path of the GitHub repository. You have to copy from the GitHub and you have to copy on the project URL. Then next come to here also source code management. Here also repository URL you have to paste it here. Then here credentials are also used, but I'm not using the credentials. Here we selected the master or to branch or two branches to build. Then poll SCM. Here you have to give 5 stars. After that, play. It has been saved. Then next, save the process. Yes, now you can see there is no builds yet. So I look building the project from GitHub manually. See, it has been wait, I'll show the output. Successfully done the output. Here it is showing the finish is success. It will throw the message, not the output. Then I will change some of the values in the project, and I will again show you how it will be done. See, we have already one file here, pg1.java. So I will modify the pg1.java. See, it has been committed already 3 times. So I will show you that. Next, you have to check the git status. See, it will display that modified Java one file. Then we have to what change the means save the changes. So we will do git add space dot. Then see it has been done successfully. So now I will check the status. Now you can see it has been modified. See here we are committing our code. Then we have to push to the GitHub. So now we will refresh the page. See, we can get the third commit here. See, the build has been successfully completed. We can see here the commit as a third commit and the output as success. Thank you.